Playing with Power MTG. Powerful cards, powerful formats. We are back with another Legacy match. We will have all kinds of great Legacy gameplay coming to you over the next few months, so be sure to like this video and subscribe to get notified of when we publish more. Also, if you want to support more Legacy content, check out our Patreon and see if there's a tier for you. We also have merchandise like dice, coins, tokens, sleeves, and playmats at our merch store. Support us and get some awesome merchandise in return. To get the latest updates on Playing with Power, be sure to check out our social media. Follow us on Twitter, check us out on Facebook, and find us on TikTok. Now, let's start out by showcasing our fighters this evening. First, we have Noah piloting Dredge. This deck seeks to dump its library into the graveyard and cheat threats onto the battlefield to overwhelm its opponent. Noah's opening hand contains 2 Stinkweed Imp, 2 Faithless Looting, Lion's Eye Diamond, Narcomoeba, and his Lena Mulligan is a Narcomoeba. Next, we have Cal piloting Azorius Control. This deck seeks to resolve powerful spells like Jace the Mind Sculptor while controlling the board with cards like Terminus. Cal's opening hand contains a Force of Will, 2 Brainstorm, Scalding Tarn, Snapcaster Mage, Polluta Delta, and his Lena Mulligan is an Accumulated Knowledge. Without further ado, let's kick off this eerie earnest ecological eclipse. Noah won the Bird Box Challenge and gets to start us off. Noah casts a Lion's Eye Diamond. He cracks it, discards his hand, and adds 3 red. He flashes back Faithless Looting. In response, Cal casts Force of Will, paying a life, exiling a blue card, countering Faithless Looting. With this complete blowout, Noah passes the turn. Cal draws, plays a Scalding Tarn, and passes. During his draw step, Noah dredges Stinkweed Imp back to his hand, including 2 Golgari Grave Troll and a Bridge from below. He does nothing else and passes. At the end of Noah's turn, Cal cracks his Scalding Tarn, pays a life, and fetches up a Tundra onto the battlefield. Cal draws, plays a Polluta Delta, and ends his turn. During his draw step, Noah dredges Golgari Grave Troll back to his hand, including Narcomoeba and Icarid. Narcomoeba triggers and Noah returns it to the battlefield. Noah passes. At the end of Noah's turn, Cal casts Brainstorm, drawing 3 and putting 2 back on top. He cracks his Polluta Delta, pays a life, and fetches up a Tundra onto the battlefield. The turn moves to Cal. Cal draws, plays a Volcanic Island, and passes. During his upkeep, Icarid triggers in Noah's graveyard. He exiles a black creature, returning Icarid to the battlefield. During his draw step, Noah dredges Golgari Grave Troll back to his hand, including Hogak, Arisen Necropolis, Narcomoeba, and a Bridge from below. Narcomoeba triggers and Noah returns it to the battlefield. He moves to combat and attacks Cal with Narcomoeba and Icarid. Cal takes it, and in his second main phase, Noah flashes back Cabal Therapy, sacrificing Narcomoeba, targeting Cal. Bridge from below triggers and Noah creates 2 zombies. In response, Cal hard casts Force of Negation, countering and exiling Cabal Therapy. Noah moves to the end step, Icarid is sacrificed, Bridge from below triggers, and Noah creates 2 more zombies. Noah passes to Cal. Cal draws, plays an island, and passes. During his upkeep, Icarid triggers and Noah exiles a black creature from his graveyard to return it to the battlefield. During his draw step, he dredges Golgari Grave Troll back to his hand, including Bridge from below and Stinkweed Imp. He moves to combat and attacks Cal with his zombies. In response, Cal flashes in a Snapcaster Mage. It enters and targets Brainstorm in his graveyard. He flashes back Brainstorm from his graveyard, drawing 3 and putting 2 back on top. Then Cal blocks a zombie with Snapcaster Mage. Then damage happens, Snapcaster and the zombie die, and Noah's Bridge from below's trigger. He exiles all 3 from his graveyard. With nothing else, Noah passes. Cal draws and plays a Scalding Tarn. He cracks it, pays a life, and fetches up an island onto the battlefield. He sees that he is dead to attacks, and concedes the game to Noah. Before Game 2, Noah moves to sideboard. He brings in 4 Nature's Claim to deal with the inevitable graveyard hate that always sits in the sideboard. He removes 2 Careful Study, a Putrid Imp, and a Golgari Thug. Cal also moves to sideboard. He brings in 2 Rest in Peace to deal with Noah's graveyard strategy. He also brings in 2 Surgical Extraction to handle Noah's Bridge from below. He removes 4 Accumulated Knowledge. In this game, Cal's opening hand contains a Flooded Strand, Counterbalance, Scalding Tarn, Council's Judgment, Brainstorm, Force of Negation, and a Surgical Extraction. In this game, Noah's opening hand contains a Putrid Imp, Cephalid Coliseum, Nature's Claim, Golgari Thug, and his Lena Mulligans are Narcomoeba and 2 Cabal Therapy. And Cal gets to start us off. Cal plays a Scalding Tarn and passes. Noah draws and plays a City of Brass. He taps it to help cast Putrid Imp. Noah passes. At the end of Noah's turn, Cal cracks his Scalding Tarn, pays a life, and fetches up a Tundra onto the battlefield. Cal draws, plays a Flooded Strand, and ends his turn. During his upkeep, Noah activates Putrid Imp, discarding Golgari Thug. In response, Cal pays 2 life to cast Surgical Extraction, targeting Golgari Thug. It resolves, Cal searches Noah's hand, graveyard, and library, and exiles all thugs. Noah draws and moves to combat. He attacks Cal with Putrid Imp. Cal takes it, and in his second main phase, Noah taps the City of Brass to cast Cabal Therapy. In response, Cal casts Brainstorm. He draws 3 and puts 2 back on top. Cabal Therapy resolves, and Noah names Force of Negation. Cal reveals his hand and discards a Force of Negation. Noah plays a Cephalid Coliseum and passes the turn. Cal draws and cracks his Flooded Strand, pays a life, and fetches up a Tundra onto the battlefield. He casts a Counterbalance. Cal ships the turn to Noah. Noah draws and moves to combat. He attacks Cal with Putrid Imp. Cal takes it and Noah ends his turn. Cal draws, plays an island, and passes. Noah draws and moves to combat. He attacks Cal with Putrid Imp. Cal takes it, and in his second main phase, Noah plays a City of Brass. Noah ships the turn to Cal. Cal draws, takes no actions, and passes. Noah draws and moves to combat. He attacks Cal with Putrid Imp. Cal takes it, and Noah passes. At the end of Noah's turn, Cal flashes in a Snapcaster Mage. Snapcaster enters and targets Brainstorm in Cal's graveyard. He flashes back Brainstorm, drawing 3 and putting 2 back on top. The turn moves to Cal. Cal draws and plays a Flooded Strand. He moves to combat and attacks Noah with Snapcaster Mage. Noah takes it, and in his second main phase, Cal cracks his Flooded Strand, pays a life, and fetches up a Mystic Sanctuary onto the battlefield untapped. Sanctuary enters, and Cal puts Surgical Extraction onto the top of his library. He casts Narset, Parter of Veils. He activates Narset, looking at the top 4 and putting Surgical Extraction into his hand. Cal passes to Noah. Noah draws and casts Lion's Eye Diamond. He moves to combat and attacks Cal with Putrid Imp. In response, Cal casts Swords to Plowshares. Putrid Imp is exiled and Noah gains a life. Noah passes. Cal draws and plays a Scalding Tarn. He moves to combat and attacks Noah with Snapcaster Mage. Noah takes it, and in his second main phase, Cal activates Narset. He looks at the top 4, putting Ponder into his hand. He casts Ponder. He looks at the top 3, doesn't like what he sees, shuffles, and draws. Cal ends his turn. Noah draws, takes no actions, and passes. Cal draws and moves to combat. He attacks Noah with Snapcaster Mage. Noah takes it, and Cal passes the turn. Noah draws and taps his City of Brass to cast Cabal Therapy, targeting Cal. Counterbalance triggers, and Cal reveals a Polluted Delta. In response, Cal cracks his Scalding Tarn, pays a life, and fetches up a Volcanic Island onto the battlefield. He hard casts Force of Will, countering Cabal Therapy. Noah sends the turn back to Cal. Cal draws and moves to combat. He attacks Noah with Snapcaster Mage. Noah takes it, and Cal hands the turn back over to Noah. Noah draws and plays a Cephalid Colosseum. He cracks his Lion's Eye Diamond, discards his hand, and adds 3 blue. He cracks his Colosseum, targeting himself. He draws 1 due to Narset and then discards Golgari Grave Troll. Noah passes. Cal draws and moves to combat. He attacks Noah with Snapcaster Mage. Noah takes it, and Cal passes. During Noah's upkeep, Cal pays 2 life to cast Surgical Extraction, targeting Golgari Grave Troll. In response, Noah cracks the Cephalid Colosseum, targeting himself. In response, Cal pays 2 life to cast another Surgical Extraction, targeting Grave Troll in his graveyard. Extraction resolves, Cal searches Noah's hand, graveyard, and library, and exiles all Golgari Grave Trolls. Then Cephalid resolves, Noah draws 1 through Narset and discards Faithless Looting. Then the other Surgical Extraction fizzles. Noah moves to his draw step, but doesn't draw due to Narset. Noah passes the turn. Cal draws and moves to combat. He attacks Noah with Snapcaster Mage. Noah takes it, and Cal passes. Noah draws, takes no actions, and passes. Cal draws and moves to combat. He attacks Noah with Snapcaster Mage. Noah takes it, and in his second main phase, Cal plays a Flooded Strand. Cal ends his turn. Noah draws, sees he has no outs, and concedes the game. In this game, Noah's opening hand contains 2 Mana Confluence, Lotus Petal, Lion's Eye Diamond, Bridge from Below, Stinkweed Imp, and a Faithless Looting. In this game, Cal's opening hand contains a Counterbalance, Plains, Volcanic Island, Brainstorm, Counterspell, Swords to Plowshares, and his London Mulligan is a Mystic Sanctuary, and Noah starts us off. Noah plays a Mana Confluence for turn. He taps it to cast Faithless Looting. He draws 2 and discards Bridge from Below and Stinkweed Imp. He casts a Lotus Petal. He casts a Lion's Eye Diamond. He cracks his petal to cast Putrid Imp. He cracks his LED, discards his hand, and adds 3 red. He flashes back Faithless Looting. He dredges his first draw with Stinkweed Imp, dredging Bridge from Below, Golgari Thug, and a Golgari Grave Troll. He dredges his second draw with Golgari Grave Troll, dredging 2 Icarids and a Putrid Imp. He then discards both cards through Faithless Looting. With an explosive turn 1, Noah passes. Cal draws, plays a Volcanic Island, shivers in his boots a little, and passes. During Noah's upkeep, Cal pays 2 life to cast Surgical Extraction, targeting Bridge from Below in Noah's graveyard. He searches Noah's hand, graveyard, and library, and exiles all Bridge from Below. Also in his upkeep, both of Noah's Icarids trigger. He exiles 2 black creatures from his graveyard and returns both to the battlefield. During his draw step, Noah dredges Golgari Grave Troll back to his hand, including dredging Stinkweed Imp, Golgari Thug, and a Narcomoeba. Narcomoeba triggers, and Noah returns it to the battlefield. Noah moves to combat and attacks Cal with both Icarids and a Putrid Imp. Cal takes it, and in his second main phase, Noah flashes back Cabal Therapy, sacrificing Icarid, targeting Cal. He names Rest in Peace, Cal reveals his hand, and doesn't discard anything. With nothing else, Noah passes, sacrificing his other Icarid. Cal draws, plays a Plains, and passes. During his upkeep, Noah's Icarids trigger. Noah exiles 2 black creatures and returns both to the battlefield. During his draw step, he dredges Golgari Grave Troll back to his hand, including 2 other Golgari Grave Trolls and an Icarid. Noah moves to combat and attacks Cal with his Icarids, Putrid Imp, and Narcomoeba. In response, Cal casts Swords to Plowshares, exiling an Icarid with Noah gaining 2 life. Then Cal takes the rest, and in his second main phase, Noah flashes back a Cabal Therapy, sacrificing an Icarid, targeting Cal. In response, Cal casts Brainstorm, drawing 3 and putting 2 back on top. Then Cabal Therapy resolves, Noah names Rest in Peace, and Cal reveals his hand, discarding nothing. All through, Noah passes. During Cal's draw step, Cal reveals Terminus, casting it for its miracle cost. Then all creatures go onto the bottom of their owner's libraries. Cal plays a Scalding Tarn and passes. During his upkeep, Noah exiles a black creature card from his graveyard, returning Icarid to the battlefield. During his draw step, he dredges Golgari Grave Troll to his hand, including dredging a Golgari Grave Troll, Hogak, Arisen Necropolis, Faithless Looting, and a Narcomoeba. Narcomoeba triggers, and Noah returns it to the battlefield. Noah moves to combat and attacks Cal with Icarid. Cal takes it, and Noah passes, sacrificing Icarid. At the end of Noah's turn, Cal casts Brainstorm, drawing 3 and putting 2 back on top. Cal draws, sees he is dead to attacks, concedes, and Noah wins the game. Ladies and gentlemen, what a match. Congrats to Noah on his win. His deck was an engine that was incredibly hard to disrupt once it got its very first spark. He was able to snowball out of control so quickly that Cal couldn't keep up with his control elements. We hope you enjoyed this Legacy match. Would you have played something differently? What deck would you like to see next? Let us know in the comments below. Well, that about wraps it up for this episode. Be sure to like the video and subscribe for more Legacy content. Also, check out our Patreon and consider supporting us to ensure we keep bringing you more great gameplay. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.